Thanksgiving 10 years ago, an unexpected guest shows up at a cousin's house for dinner. Though uninvited, he was welcomed. Before the evening ended, Paul Marriage pulled out a gun, killed his two sisters, his aunt, and then walked into the room of a sleeping 6-year-old and shot her in her bed. I can never forget the phone call I got that night. The news, the murders happened at the home of one of our own, WPTV photojournalist Jim Sitton. Jim and his wife Muriel lost their only child, their beloved daughter Michaela. Also killed, Muriel's mother and her cousins. Their murderer now sits in a prison cell for the rest of his life. How can anyone survive such unimaginable pain? How do you keep on living day to day? Can you ever forgive? I sat down with Jim and Muriel Sitton to find out.
1, 2, ready, go. Think about how she would have been 16 right now, going on 17. I can't believe it's been 10 years. I mean, sometimes it feels like just yesterday, and other times it feels like it's been one long marathon.
When their precious Michaela died, Jim and Muriel Sitton weren't sure if music would ever fill their home again.
So after the murders, all joy and laughter and little girl giggles left us just a cold, empty house.
During their months and years of grief, one thing was clear. They wanted to be parents again.
I felt that the Lord had placed in our hearts that we needed to keep moving, and that it wasn't over for us, that chapter wasn't over.
Having a baby was not guaranteed or easy. In 2012, their prayers were answered.
Our longtime friend and photojournalist Jim Sitton and his wife Muriel welcomed a new baby girl into the world today, Natalia Grace Sitton, born just before 1 o'clock today.
And one morning I woke up and I heard like Muriel faintly singing, and my ears perked up. And she was singing to baby Natalia, like Amazing Grace. And like at that moment, I was like, wow, we're gonna make it. Because up to that point, I didn't know if we were gonna make it.
After years of such incredible sorrow, music returned to the Sitton home. Then 2 years later, Rayla arrived and completed their family.
It's a tremendous blessing to be able to be a mother again, and having these two girls are every day. It's a reminder of God's grace.
Jim and Muriel never moved out of their home after the murders. I wondered why they stayed. Jim told me one awful night does not erase the years of happiness they spent with Michaela in this very home.
Now, I don't think it's possible to leave the house, because you leave the house, you leave all those memories.
Today,
Nice little rabbit.
the little girl giggles are back. Especially heartwarming coming from their room,
As 9-year-old Mitch sleeps
which used to be their big
on the
sisters.
bed the Sunday after Thanksgiving,
Clothes,
we felt
books,
that he
music.
should be remembering something.
We don't hide, sharing that she lived, that she was here. And so we embrace all the things of Michaela's. We've made them theirs.
Sam sat, the cat sat.
As she did with Michaela, Muriel homeschools the girls.
Ted.
Good job.
Jim and Muriel have sheltered their daughters from the details about the murders of their sister and beloved grandmother.
They know that something happened, and something happened at the same time with my mother. When the time comes, we know that God will give us the right words and the wisdom in how to share it with them.
Father, I thank you for this family. You alone know the depths of what they went through.
The couple says faith is why they survived losing their child when statistically many couples don't.
We're Christians. Without our faith in Christ, right, and His strength, I don't think we would have been able to make it. I know we wouldn't be married.
And He's just given me an ability to move forward. And when those memories come, I'm able to not crumble like I did in the early days.
Happy birthday, Jesus.
Their faith calls upon them to forgive the murderer.
Forgiveness, in the beginning, it wasn't even an option.
Yeah, there's a lot to forgive in all of this.
I still wrestle with the rage inside that comes back.
And it's a process, and it's something that we've done, and sometimes we think we've done, and then we have to keep doing it.
And you forgive, and you rage and forgive.
But we're so much further along that journey than we were back then.
You know, God's not finished with me yet.
A journey that has taken them from their darkest hours to a life that's full, rich, and blessed.
Like somebody's placed flowers here.
Ever mindful of the example they're setting for their girls.
But I want them to look back and say, wow, okay, that's faith.
Kayla.
I saw it. I remember my mom and dad walking through that, and now it all comes together, and that's faith.
10 years later, they hope to be a source of strength for others.
Can't wait to see her in heaven. I know she's happy.
I pray that if a little glimpse of our lives will help them to just look up and say, you know what, there's something bigger than me. And if I just put my trust in God, that I'm not saying that it's going to make it easy. It hasn't been easy, but He will get you through.
I really think she was set apart and blessed, and that she was special in every way.
Natalia, will we see her again one day? Yes, where will we see her again?
We'll see her in heaven.
That's right.